Welcome to Festpod, the unofficial download festival guide. I'm Neil Wilkinson. This is the place for news and rumours about the festival, advice for going, and where you can have your say too. So now let's welcome my fellow host, Lee Ellingham. How the devil are you?
Good evening. Currently trying to avoid getting my face bitten off by my dog Oscar.
Oh dear.
I'm trying to introduce him to the world of heavy metal, and he seems to be taking the moshing a bit too seriously.
Oh, I like that though. I mean, I could imagine. Yeah, so you're training him to be a sort of download dog.
Yeah.
For the rest of the time when you're not at download. I like that.
Yeah, he's not red though, so he's almost a download dog.
That can be fixed. Have you seen that people paint? No, they don't paint them, but they sort of dye their dogs different colours. Have you seen that?
That's evil.
It's not permanent, I don't think. I think it washes out.
I should hope not.
So I have been very busy this last few weeks with driving all around the country through all the wind and rain and stuff like that. So I am windswept. It's probably the best way of describing me this week. That aside, welcome to the podcast. Find us on the socials by looking for Festpod or by going to festpod.co.uk. Say hi, ask our advice about download, or just chime in with whatever you want, as some people have done this week, and we shall be answering one or two questions that were sent to us later on. So let's get started with festival news. We have a lot to cover this episode. We have had some announcements. We've had a brand new, what do we call it now? A poster, a festival poster. There's a better word to describe it than that.
It's a baby blue poster.
Yes.
I mean, I think that's the only way to describe it. Do you know what? I love it. I know, obviously, being metal fans, and we're used to the black, the reds, the sort of gothic sort of colours, but I'm sorry, baby blue, it works. I really like the new poster.
Yeah, I'm expecting to see some merchandise in baby blue, and lots of blue t-shirts and lots of. Do you remember in 2017 they randomly had a hoodie with a blue Download Festival logo on it, which didn't match anything else. It was just on its own. There were no other things with it on, but I bought one.
Well, then it's unique at the minute until probably this year's festival, when everything will be blue.
Yes. So, what are the differences in this? Is this a full poster?
No, not yet. So the new poster, the new baby blue poster, it's not the full lineup. No, they do not specify on the poster more acts to be announced as they usually do. However, I have it on good authority that there's at least one more band to be announced, and that's through the Kerrang, Marshall Records, and Planet Rock Radio competition, The Deal. So for those of you that haven't heard about The Deal, basically, it's a battle of the bands, and it's between 25 bands overall, 5 bands per week. We'll go through to voting by the fans. And the top 2 bands per week will then get put through to a panel down to 10 finalists that will be chosen by experts. Whomever they may be.
We're not experts. We're not on this.
No, we're not experts. Christ. I imagine they'll be down to like a panel from Kerrang or Planet Rock Radio or even Marshall Records, obviously. And the prize to the winning band is a record deal with Marshall. There is a cash prize to go along with it, and this band will be opening up the Avalanche stage at Download Festival. So I can guarantee there'll at least be one more band.
Wow, that's a great prize.
It is. I think it's fantastic. I mean, I see a lot of Battle of the Bands on Instagram and other socials. I know Bloodstock do Metal for the Masses every year, and it's these sort of competitions that I try to push and plug on our socials, purely because these bands one day could be the big bands. And if they're starting out, they haven't been signed yet, it'd be really good for them to be signed. They're putting all their effort and all their passion into this craft that not a lot of us can do. And I think, yeah.
Get in there early. If this band that wins, get in there early and see them. before they get big and signed and massive and as big as Iron Maiden.
Exactly. How do we know? Let's say, for example, one of the bands that has already been part of the competition, we are currently on the 4th week, Our Hollow, Our Home. Now, whilst these guys do already run their own festival at Halloween, these guys could be massive in, say, 15 years' time, 20 years' time. They could be huge. They could be headlining the main stage at Download. And how good would it be to say, we saw them first?
Well, let's hope they're any good.
Yeah.
So the voting is happening on the socials, is it?
So yes, so you could if you were to Google The Deal Kerrang, it'll be the first one at the top. You get to listen to 5 tracks by the 5 bands currently for that week, and then you get to vote. Obviously, once you've listened to them all, or if you already know the bands, just vote anyway. We're currently on coming to the end of the 4th week, so there's only one more week left. So I mean, potentially in the next 3-4 weeks, we will have another band announcement to fill up on the poster.
So we haven't got long to wait, have we? Who actually is confirmed on this new lineup poster?
Okay, so I'm going to start from Friday through to Sunday. On the main stage, the last logo spot has been given to Skin Dread.
Ah, yes.
The Newport Helicopter is returning to Download. I'm fairly excited by this. Obviously, they played at the Pilot. They played at 2019.
They're Download regulars.
They are Download regulars. They're one of the bands that I'd like to call old reliable, because you know for a fact they will bring a decent show.
When you took me to see them for the first time, it must have, I don't know, was that 2019?
It was, yeah.
I loved seeing them. I think they bring such an energy to the festival that actually I don't think anybody else does.
No, do you know what? I totally agree. There has been a lot of kickback on the forums and whatever about being Skin Dread again, but you know
all
what?
them forums.
Exactly. And you know what? You can guarantee there will be thousands of people at the main stage going nuts and swinging their shirts in the air for Skin Dread.
There always is. And people being carried across people's shoulders on various inflatable items. That always happens.
Exactly. I think it's a great booking. And yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing them.
I am. I'll be there. Who else have we got?
So on the second stage was announced Skinned. These guys have been described, or this artist, has been described as in it's industrial rock with a true crime genre theme, which sounds really, really intriguing. And I gave them a listen to the other day, and it turns out they have collaborated with Jonathan Davis from Korn.
Have they?
So this is quite an exciting, again, like I said, industrial type rock artist that is definitely worth a see if you get the opportunity.
Oh, they sound good actually. I think I'll pop along.
Mm-hmm. On the third stage for Friday, there was announced Kid Brunswick. This is a solo act from West London, and if I had to describe him or compare him to absolutely anything, I'd say the very, very similar sound and vocals towards Bring Me the Horizon, which is never a bad thing, because obviously the amount of press and the amount of publicity that Bring Me the Horizon get at the minute, especially positive press. So
I'm interested. You say this is a solo artist. Is he a one-man band? Is he playing all the instruments himself?
No, he won't be having the drums on his back and the harmonica by his mouth and all that sort of thing.
I would love that, though.
So the sort of sound that I get from him, it might be an artist with, again, a backing track, and then he's doing some sort of singing and rapping in front of it. Or it will be his music, again, his drums, his bass, his guitar, but obviously he'll have a band backing him up. But we will see.
We will.
I listened to his music again the other night, and again, it's a very good booking, especially for that position in the tent in the Avalanche stage for the Friday. Another band that has been announced for the Friday is a band called Red Fang. They're on the fourth stage, and I describe this band as a classic dad rock band.
Okay.
Which, to be fair, the type of music they're playing, it will truly complement the other artists that are around them on that Friday. So it's a very much a classic rock evening on the fourth stage on the Friday.
Okay. I think, do you know what? I went in my journey through metal. I think I started at classic rock and I've progressed through to the other variants now. So I don't know whether I'll be that excited to see that, but I'm sure they're very good.
Yeah, I mean that's the perfect thing about Download is again when it comes to rock and metal, the variety is huge. Which again, coming on to the next band that was announced for the fourth stage, they are opening up the Dogtooth stage on the Friday. They are a band called Heriot. It's spelled Heriot, so it's either Heriot or Heriot. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Should we go with Heriot?
Let's go with Heriot. They are a black metal hardcore three-piece from Swindon, and that's well and truly on my to-see list.
Wow.
Because I get blown away by black metal and death metal and that sort of thing.
Do they blow you away?
There's the first innuendo of the night.
I'm making more of an effort this episode.
Yeah. Yes, they do.
Do they? Do you enjoy it?
I do enjoy it. I do enjoy being blown away by Heriot.
Oh, okay. So you'll be seeing them?
I will be, yes. They're opening up the Dogtooth stage on the Friday, so that could potentially be the first band of the weekend for me.
I love the Dogtooth stage. I will be there most of the weekend.
I mean, it's those... Because there's so much that goes on in that tent. There's so many bands. I mean, I think the minimum amount of bands on that stage throughout the weekend is about 10. Mm-hmm. So... And there might be short sets, but you get so much variety and so much. It's almost like a small club gig.
I have seen more bands there that I have continued to follow afterwards than on any other stage, which is why I like it so much. Because some of the bands on the other stages I'm not as keen on. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about the Dogtooth stage or what makes it so special for me or why it fits my taste so much. But that's where I have the most fun, definitely.
Hey, I totally agree with you. I'm 100% on your wavelength with that. So then we move on to Saturday. So the next band is opening up the second stage on the Saturday. A band called Dirty Honey. They're an LA-based...
Dirty Honey.
Dirty Honey. They're an LA-based hard rock, blues rock type band. Again, it fits more into that classic rock type of genre. Which again would be a nice. To me, it sounds like as if it would be a nice, calming opening for the Saturday when we're all dying of hangovers from the first night.
It's not thrash metal to wake you up. It's a sort of to ease you into it to the day.
That's it. Yeah. Another band that's being announced for the Saturday on the fourth stage is a band called Will Haven. This is a full band. It's not just one person called Will Haven.
With a drum on his back and a harmonica.
Yeah, because I had to double check that it wasn't just one person called Will Haven.
Right, okay.
And this is a Californian band with incredible heavy influences from Deftones.
Really?
Which, on paper, to me, and I don't want to be horrible, but on paper, to me, that sounds amazing. But if you listen to them, it is very, very, very similar. And to have them on the same day as Deftones, I think is a bit... They could have spread that type of music out a little bit. But I mean, it could still work. I'm not Andy Kong. I'm not the big booker of the festival, so what the fuck do I know? Okay, so the next artist, again, on the fourth stage, is an artist called Dana Dentana.
Oh, okay. I like that name. That's cool.
So this artist is a unique blend of rap, rock, and hardcore.
Sounds like you're reading from their website there.
No, I'm reading from my book where I wrote the notes.
Oh, this is your own notes. This sounds very like they've written it, doesn't it?
No.
Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean, but I'm not plagiarizing anybody. Christ.
Okay.
Yeah, so I watched the video on YouTube, and it's not quite what we would traditionally get at download.
Oh, I like it when this happens. Go on, why?
It's sort of a hip hop rap goth type feel to it, and I find that quite interesting.
A hip hop goth rap. Wow. Okay.
And I don't want to say she, because obviously I don't want to mispronounce any pronouns, of course, obviously for anyone that obviously does that. But yeah, they're very interesting sort of blend of musical genres that I've got in capital letters in my book here. Check out, and I definitely will be trying to check them out. Obviously, in June.
So it's something that won't tick everybody's boxes.
Oh no, but then again, fuck me, like you've only got to skim through Facebook and the forum and Instagram, and you realise that nobody likes anything that's a download every year anyway.
Why does anybody go? Everybody says it's so shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't please everybody, and I don't know how they please anybody, to be honest, because you can't. I mean,
no, exactly.
It's such a hard job they've got, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's where I do feel for them. I mean, a lot of people have, again, they've complained about like Skindred being on the bill, but no, the people that are booking them know for a fact that Skindred will bring thousands of people to that main stage.
They're going to sell tickets. People want to see them.
Exactly. So I mean, again, whilst we all think we know better than the experts, unfortunately, we don't.
And I think they should be applauded for bringing in bands that aren't the usual and are perhaps on the periphery of rock and metal and people who we wouldn't normally have seen. I like that.
I do like the variety. Obviously, you go to download for, you know what you're going to get with some bands. Again, Korn, Deftones, Maiden, you know what you're going to get with them. But again, lower down the bill, yeah, to bring in these sorts of bands or artists that are not as niche. And yeah, it makes my weekend a bit more exciting.
And if you don't want to see them, you don't have to see them. That's the beauty of a festival. Go to a different stage if it's not your thing.
But people don't seem to realise that, though.
Yeah, they'd rather complain on the internet.
Exactly.
So who else have we got? There can't be many more.
We've got, I believe, 6 more.
Okay, go on.
Yep, so the last band that was announced for the Saturday in this announcement is a band called Banks Arcade. They're from New Zealand. And I am taking a quote when I say this next one, so okay. I am directly quoting. They're heavily influenced by North Lane, who's an Australian band who we've seen, I think, in 2017. Yeah. Deftones. Okay. And The Weeknd. The Weeknd's album,
as in the
trilogy,
pop act?
The pop act, the R&B, the hip hop artist. His album, his album trilogy was 3 discs. I must have had like about 60 tracks on it, all demos from his early days before he became obviously as big as he is now. I have that album. It is sick, and I am very, very much interested to see what the live show is like, considering it's thrown 3 bands that aren't near each other really on a genre spectrum. You've got North Lane, Deftones, and The Weeknd.
Yeah, I'm intrigued, and I would like to hear that actually.
Yeah, again, listen to them the other day. I can definitely back up that those influences you can definitely hear, and I will be seeing them 100%. Great
booking from the way you've described it.
Did I describe that well? I think I'd like to pat myself on the back. I thought I described that quite well.
Let's pat yourself. In fact, why don't we have a sound effect? No, not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. There we are.
Yay! Thank you.
Just wanted to just a clap. We'll just give you the clap there. There you go.
No, don't give me the clap. I don't want the clap.
Anyway, go on. What's the next
On to Sunday's bands. The first band that was announced for the Sunday on the main stage, Ailstorm.
Oh, brilliant!
Do you know of the controversy behind Ailstorm at the minute?
No, I don't.
Oh, well. So, all Right, so the good things about Ailstorm, firstly, they are, again, Scottish pirate metal.
Oh, are they Scottish? I hadn't realised that.
They are a fantastic act. They have a right old party when they come to any festival, any gig, and it is an absolute riot. Saw them at Bloodstock a few years ago, and it was one of the best shows I've seen ever. And so if you can ignore what I'm about to say, then yes, go and see them.
Oh dear, I don't like this doesn't sound good.
So there seems to be a bit of a falling out between a couple of the band members of Ailstorm and Gloryhammer. So Gloryhammer share a couple of the artists in the band. It's like a second band to I think the lead singer. There's a big falling out, and they leaked a WhatsApp group that has so much racism, misogyny, and other disgusting things. No. And when they tried to almost defend themselves, it's they were quoted saying, "We do not believe the things that we've said in this group chat. It's purely trying to one up each other with really dark, disgusting humour." Oh
God, that's dangerous.
Exactly. That's the perfect way to describe it. That's playing with fire because, as what's happened, if you piss off somebody in that group chat, you publish that, that's your reputation down the pisser. And unfortunately, some people have kicked off that they've been put on the lineup. And if you can separate yourself from the controversy to the artist, then fine. But
oh no! See, it's like any time any other big famous people end up in the news for the wrong reasons, and you like their music, it's always that awful journey of having to think, well, I like the music, I really like it, it makes me feel good, but I don't like the person, they've really upset me, and all of this stuff, and it's just a horrible personal journey that you have to go through.
Oh no, I totally agree. I'm honestly, like, it sounds bad. I don't know where I stand with it because, I mean, I've known people that have that god awful sense of humor where they try to one up each other with the really dark shit. But at the same time, I mean, people in their position shouldn't really be, or nobody should be doing that. I mean, where does that sort of thing stop? Where do people draw the line? It's not, to me, it's not funny.
Yeah, I don't think I'd like that very much. It sounds awful.
No, I mean, again, I sort of see their excuse. I sort of see what they're doing, and it's not meant to mean harm, but then it's come out publicly, so it's going to cause harm. So, I mean, they're an absolute riot of a band to see live. But at the same time, this whole WhatsApp thing it's got to make you question whether or not you go and watch them, in my opinion.
Yeah, and this is actually from last year, isn't it? All this.
It is, yeah. Obviously, during the height of the pandemic, and obviously,
So if you want to read up on that for yourself, it's. Just Google it; it's there, and you can look at what they've written for yourself, as unpleasant as it is, and make your own mind up, basically, because we can't do it for you.
No. But let's move on.
Yes.
Do you remember the band Yonaka that played at the Pilot?
Yes, and I remember the interesting conversations we had about how to pronounce Yonaka, your knackers, Yonaka, my knackers, whoever's knackers.
So do you know what? I've actually, funnily enough, I've just been watching your videos from the Pilot.
Have you?
Before. Yeah, and we were trying to pronounce Yonaka or Vukovi.
For coffee, yes, I remember.
Yeah, so the name aside, obviously they played the main stage at the Pilot. And I would describe these guys as it's a very pop rock, which I do really enjoy. I do enjoy good melody and vocals.
There's room for a bit of pop rock. There's room for
exactly. I enjoy sort of very very pleasant melody with vocals into sort of again guitars and drums and stuff like that. And they are, to me, a very easy band to listen to and enjoy. And again, I've put in capital letters next to their name. Go and see them. They will be on the 4th stage on the Sunday, just before Miles Kennedy comes on.
Great.
Also on the 4th stage is a band called Orbit Culture.
Oh, that rings a bell, actually.
I thought so too. So I've obviously done a little bit of digging, try and find out a little bit more about them. And I believe they are a modern heavy metal band. And by that I mean the verses, they're quite aggressive. They do the sort of the growling vocals, which is really, really interesting. But then when it comes to the choruses and almost the bridges, they've got a very James Hetfield from Metallica sort of feel about it.
Have they?
Which is never a bad thing. how big and how good Metallica are. But I mean, at the same time, like, yeah, I've got next to their name as well, to see them. So I want to check them out.
Oh, they're on your chart, are they?
Yeah, no, I had fun updating that yesterday. When that announcement hit, I was on the spreadsheet straight away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who else on the 4th? So 2 more acts on the 4th stage. So this one is incredibly interesting. I think you said, I think it might have been 2018, you quoted RuPaul's Drag Race, to where Dave and I had no idea what you were on about, but somebody else replied back to you from one of the tents. I vaguely remember that happening.
Well, you've got a better memory than I have, because I've got no memory of that. Do you know what I said? No.
Okay.
Right.
But I remember you quoting something from RuPaul's Drag Race, and you said to us, "Do you guys not watch it?" And obviously I explained, "No, I don't." Blah 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 blah. Keep that in mind. This artist is called Bimini.
Oh, Bimini, yes.
Bimini, sorry, yep, was the runner-up for the most recent RuPaul's Drag Race.
No way. Really?
This is an East London drag queen. Again, probably best known for RuPaul's Drag Race being runner-up. And the only way that I can describe this person's music is it's a British rap pop. Think of Phil Daniels from Parklife.
I'm actually just blown away that Bimini Bon Boulash is going to be playing Tablet Festival. I'm still trying to process that.
No, process away. I'll give you all the time you need.
That's bizarre.
Because again, I watched a video of theirs yesterday, and I thought, yeah, this could work. This could really work. And I believe it was RuPaul that said that punk rock. How could you describe punk rock? It's going against the establishment, going against the almost shaving against the grain, as they say, and that's what being drag. Or this is how RuPaul describes it. Is that's what being drag is all about? It's punk rock. It's being different, and I think how am I saying this right? Bimini.
Yeah, Bimini. But well, that's how I know it. Yeah, Bimini Bon Boulash.
Yeah. And I think they fit the bill perfectly.
Oh, fantastic! I will be in the audience to see them. Actually, I don't know if I actually watched that season. But I am aware of Bimini and will go along and support.
Yep, so they're on the 4th stage. They, by the looks of the poster, they're on before Foxjaw. So to me, that's a good little back-to-back for me.
Yes, exactly.
So yeah, I think I'll definitely be seeing them too.
Yes.
And the last but not least, let's double check this is the last one. Yes, it is. The Velveteers, Colorado trio. They have been described as too scuzzy and aggressive for retro rock.
Too scuzzy
and aggressive for retro rock. I listened to them yesterday. Not my sort of rock music, not my sort of music to listen to. However, this type of genre is quite pleasant and quite pleasing to loads of people. So
right. It's ticking somebody's boxes, but not yours.
It's ticking somebody's boxes, and yeah, go and see them. Just do you know what? Just in case, if you're walking past and you find any band that weekend, you think, oh, do you know what? I'm going to pop in. Go and pop in and see them. You might like them. Unfortunately, because of whatever reasons, there have been 5 dropouts. So unfortunately, of Mice and Men, Joyous Wolf, Obituary, JJ Wild, and Gender Roles will not be performing at Download in 2022. And unfortunately, gender roles have completely split up.
Oh, no, that's terrible.
More band controversy.
Oh, no, not more.
Apparently, one member of the band has done or said or acted in a way that has totally decided that the band can no longer continue.
Oh, my God.
Which is unfortunate. There's always one person that fucks it up for everyone.
Oh, no. That's a shame, isn't it?
There was no details on it, so I can't dish the goss on that one.
Fine, okay. We'll have to make it up for ourselves. We can imagine what's happened. Okay, well that's a shame. So are they? Have those slots been filled?
They have been filled. Obviously, while there are still other spaces left on the lineup, obviously the 14 acts that we've just gone through, they will have fitted into those slots somewhere. Okay. There's also been a couple of stage moves.
Oh, has there? That's unusual, isn't it?
Well, because of all the dropouts, maybe some of these bands have been bumped up and then they've got in smaller, more unknown bands into their position.
Yes.
The first one I'm going to mention is, as everything unfolds, my homies from High Wycombe have been bumped up to the Friday and have been put onto the third stage instead of the fourth, which is a huge move for them. Quite a young band again from my neck of the woods, and I'd love to be able to just plug them as much as I can because, like I said, my homies, they're from where I grew up, so go and check them out because they are really, really good.
They haven't dropped out, but you would like to plug them.
Ah, see, these innuendos are just flowing brilliantly.
Yes.
We have not done this or done the innuendo thing properly for a good few episodes. I'm glad you're on it.
Yes.
Because my mind is out of the gutter as it seems compared to you.
Yes, exactly. I'm on the ball this week. This time.
On the balls this week.
Yes.
I got one. Yeah, there we go. Right. The next band that has moved stage, and there was massive hype about this because there's a lot of people seem to agree that Spirit Box should have been much higher on the lineup. I totally agree with that. They've been pumped up to the third stage, so they're in the bigger tent of the two. I believe they should be higher, but at the same time, the time slot that they're going to get on the third stage will be probably bigger than what they would get on a lower down slot on, say, the second stage or the main stage. And it just so happens that, again, for this evening, the 25th of February, 2022, their tickets went on sale for their headline show in Islington on the 13th of June, and the tickets sold out within under a minute.
Oh, my God. Wow. How big's the venue?
Islington, I'm not 100%. Do you know what? I'm on the internet. Let's have a butcher's.
Let's have a Pat Butcher's. Let's shake those earrings and look at Google.
It's only an 800 capacity venue.
Oh, right, okay.
Why so small? Hang on. That's quite... That's annoying. Because obviously it's a great thing that they've been able to sell out the venue, but surely at Live Nation they should be saying, right, if we bump them up and people are encouraging the bump up and excited by the bump up, surely a venue of 800 is not enough, especially if it's a one-off headline show. Obviously, thousands of people are going to get to see them at Download, but then
it's almost like a warm-up show, isn't it, that?
Yeah, like that. I mean, surely that should be before Download. But
is that after? Right, okay.
It's on the Monday after.
How weird.
If you've seen them on the Friday, you've then probably got to drive home or get back on a coach or whatever from wherever you're from, probably quite hungover, into London to go and see them at a venue that's going to be really small.
That's going to be quite a gig, though, isn't it?
I imagine so. I think the tent at Download, they say the bigger tent of the two tents is going to be absolutely rammed.
Yeah.
And I think those at Live Nation are going to be kicking themselves thinking, fuck, we should have put them in a bigger venue.
They could certainly do it, couldn't they?
Oh, definitely. I 100% agree.
So, Bawdy takeover bands have all self-confirmed. They've RSVP'd to say, yes, we'll be there. However, Tomorrow is Lost have had to pull out. which is obviously a shame. But Viridian have jumped in to save the day and bring the total bands back up to 7. So that is Bawdy Takeover if you're going to pay attention to that. Then we've also got 2000 Trees announcing bands at the moment. 7 Days of Trees, which is a nice way of doing it, I think. We're currently on day 3 as we record this, and already announced are Puppy, which is lovely. Do they have puppies, do you know?
I mean, it'd be a shame if they didn't have puppies on stage with them, but I mean, the puppies might get scared with the loud music and loud voices.
This is very true. I'd forgotten about that.
I'm sure they were scheduled to. I'm sure they were scheduled to play the download that hasn't happened.
Really?
I'm sure they were on the original 2020 poster.
Oh, okay. I can't say that. Calva Louise and Strange Bones are already announced, so we'll be posting on our Insta story all the bands that do get announced subsequently, so keep an eye on that. If you aren't on our Instagram, by the way, do have a look. Just search for Festpod and you'll find us. For some weird reason, there's another account also called Festpod. I don't really know what they're up to, but they haven't posted for years. So if you're looking for specifics, it's fest.pod that we are on Instagram. But search for Festpod and you will find us. And give us a little follow. We might even follow you back if we like the look of you. And story number 4. And Bloodstock have announced their final batch of bands for the Sophie Lancaster stage. There's quite a few, aren't there?
Yeah, so I believe there's 7 bands, which it rounds off the bands that are playing quite nicely, actually. So I'm just going to rattle through them quickly. You've got Mother Vulture, Basement Torture Killings, Crepitation, Inhuman Nature, Mastiff, and Pelugion.
Pelugion.
Okay. Yeah, Pelugion. Yeah, okay. Pelugion.
Have you heard them or not?
No, unfortunately, I've not heard of any of those bands. But the descriptions that the Bloodstock gave in their email and gave on their Twitter and on their tweets, they all do sound very exciting.
Is Bloodstock a definite no for this year? Are you not going?
Yes, I'm not going.
Okay,
I 100% am not. At this point in time, on the 25th of February 2022, I can 100% confirm I will not be going.
Okay, I mean, the only reason I'm asking is because this could change. So I'm just keeping up with what your current situation is as to whether you're going to Bloodstock or not. That's all.
Do you just not believe me when I'm saying I'm not going?
Well, no, actually, I don't believe you. Because you're such a fan of Bloodstock. You love it so much.
I do. But I think Download is going to kill me. I think it's going to kill me.
How is it going to kill you? When you're staying in RIP, it's the most easy existence at Download ever.
Yeah, but I'm in my 30s now, man. Like, I don't know.
Oh, honestly, once you get yourself in that RIP, you'll be so pleased with how close it is to everything. It's so worth the money.
I will actually be comparing it to how close it is for Bloodstock VIP as well, because they're literally you literally have got a minute walk from your tent to the guest area, and then you literally could trip into the main arena.
See, that's nice. I do like that. Is there do they have a fun fair at Bloodstock?
Mm-hmm. They do. It's all part of the same arena. Yeah. So you know, obviously how Download has, obviously you've got the village separate from the arena. Bloodstock's is an all-in-one. It's a 20,000 capacity festival, so it's a lot smaller. So there's not really any need for the massive village and then into the huge arena type festival.
Wow. Okay. And you're definitely not going.
I can 100% confirm to you at this point in time that I will not be going to Bloodstock.
See, if you were a politician, I would take that as confirmation that you were going.
Luckily for me, I'm not a politician.
Okay. There's a new festival Isn't there?
There is a brand new festival. I'm currently on a website talking about where they're discussing it, and they say Dominion Festival is a brand new 3-day festival showcasing metal, heavy metal, and hard rock bands, set in the stunning surroundings of Ushaw Historic House, Chapels and Gardens in Durham.
Really?
It's a 5,000 capacity festival, which is taking place between the 29th and 31st of July. And I'm not being funny, this lineup looks absolutely sick. Headlining on their main stage is Cradle of Filth and Blind Guardian. We all know Cradle of Filth. It's obviously Danny Filth, massive goth band through about must be like 30 years now. But Blind Guardian is a power metal band that I discovered in 2017 at Bloodstock.
Oh, you love a bit of power metal, don't you?
Do you know what? I cannot recommend them more. They are absolutely amazing. And that is a massive booking because they're huge in Europe. So, I mean, for the bands that are below them on the undercard should really, really be not grateful to be associated with them, but at the same time, I think that is what I mean. Yeah, I'd like to be grateful that they're being associated with two bands like Cradle of Filth and Blind Guardian, such high caliber bands. And this undercard, again, is absolutely sick. You've got Evil Scarecrow, Raging Speedhorn, which again, Raging Speedhorn were a massive band in the early 2000s.
Raging Speedhorn, it's such a great name, isn't it?
You love a metal band name. They do come out. I
do. Sodom is another one.
Sodom is another one. Yeah. Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons.
That's great. Those Bastard Sons.
Bastard. Who else we got? You've not mentioned one band that's just sticking out like a sore thumb.
In Me.
No, not In Me them. Again, massive band from the 2000s and still going. You've also got The City Is Ours. Again, quite a new band that's kicking up a lot of dust at the minute. They're very, very popular for the size of band they are. But no, you still missed out on that second stage.
Oh, on the second stage, Invisions are going to be there.
My boys, Invisions, are playing Dominion.
See, it's just, did you hear, everybody, that little noise that he made when I said Invisions? That is an indication of his feelings for the band. I have been listening to their new album, actually, quite recently, and I was quite enjoying that. So will you be going to watch Invisions, then, on the second stage at Dominion Festival?
No.
Not you?
to put it bluntly, no. I mean, they've got a headline couple of shows in April, one in London, one in Leeds. So I might go to that. But however, on the same day they play London, Devin Townsend's playing in London with a Danish prog band that I'm absolutely in love with as well, Vola. So at the minute, I'm either definitely not doing either or torn between the two.
Okay.
But
there's a possibility.
I'm just really, I'm made up for them because, again, like I said, Cradle of Filth and Blind Guardian are two massive acts in Europe, and then these lads they're gonna be seen amongst those sorts of caliber of bands, and I think that's absolutely fantastic.
Wow. It does look like a really good festival, actually, and I'm always in favour of new festivals coming online, and especially metal festivals. It's a 3-day metal festival, which is fantastic, and up in the northeast, they love a bit of metal. So I'm sure that will be great. Let's have a look at the information on that. dominionfestival.co.uk. That's happening the 29th to the 31st of July 2022. There are more bands to be announced as well. So I'm sure that's going to be a good value one as well.
I'm just looking for ticket prices now, actually, as we speak. So let's have a look. The early bird tickets are £96, which, I mean, compared to some other festivals, that's not great. But like I said, because of the caliber of, again, Cradle of Filth, Blind Guardian, I think that's a reasonable price to play.
42 bands over 2 stages.
Yep. Let's have a look there. Wow. Okay. Let's take that back from what I've just said. Their glamping, or their VIP option, so it's a pre-pitched canvas bell tent with bedding and facilities for up to 4 people, includes dedicated toilets, does not include arena tickets, which must be purchased separately, are £411.95p.
That's quite expensive.
That's a big jump from standard weekend camping early bird.
So weekend early bird, £96.28, and then for what I guess is RIP, but at Dominion Festival, 411, but without actual arena tickets.
I mean, your day tickets are less than £40 a pop.
Oh, that's a bit more reasonable, isn't it?
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, there you go. If you'd like to do it for a day instead, it's less than £40. And again, the lineup is really intriguing. So, if you're in the Northeast, or even if you're not in the Northeast, I'd definitely say give it a look in, because it could be something you could be into too.
Yeah, there's room for camper vans, motorhomes, and all of that sort of thing as well. It's a proper festival, despite it being new. It's the real thing. So if you've got a few extra £100 or a few £100, depending on what you want to do, then it's well worth looking at that. So that completes our news. Next, we're going to get some advice about going to download in the guide. In this section, we'll try and answer your questions about what it's like to go to Download Festival, things we recommend, and things to avoid. This week, changes. We have some updates to the actual site at Download back at Donington Racing Circuit back in 2019, after some initial changes to the Download site to satisfy the airport, who of course are their neighbours, and some local residents as well, who are having some houses built, and the mud that eventually got everybody after the rain. The bigwigs got together and decided to make some even bigger changes to the site to keep everyone happy from 2020 onwards. However, everyone knows what happened in 2020 and 2021, so 2022 will be everyone's first chance to experience all these nice, lovely changes, and hopefully the much improved experiences that they will bring. There's a lot that is going to be different, so where do we begin?
So you've stated the reasons for the change. Like you said, the surrounding area, like local residents, there's loads of new housing going up. Obviously, they need to, as you said, satisfy the airport.
Would you live at Donington?
No, I well, I was about to say, no, I fucking wouldn't. But because I'm such a Download fan, yeah, it wouldn't bother me too much. The airport could be a bit of a pain in the arse, but the loud metal music you might be able to hear from your house, that's not too bad.
I'd have more of a problem with the airport, to be honest.
I would too. Even the cars screeching around the circuit wouldn't be too much of an issue.
Oh, I would actually love that. Yeah, that's going to be more of a feature than Download is, because Download is for 1 week, a year.
Yeah, obviously the circuit goes around almost like 9 months of the year.
Yeah, it's a busy circuit and it's world known. But then you've got the airport as well. It's not going to be a quiet place to live. If you want quiet, it's like it's the same thing. You know, people who move opposite a pub and then complain about late night noise. It's the same
there's
sort.
There's actually, if you, I think you might be able to find it on Google, but there's actually complaints with residents that have moved to the area of Reading, near the Reading Festival, and complained about the festival. I don't get that.
Dickheads.
Like, exactly. Like, if you're gonna move to a well-known site of a festival, you've got no right to complain, especially when that festival's been there for fucking 30 years.
Yeah, it winds me up something rotten, and I don't know how these people get up in the morning and live their lives, living the way they do. You know, let's move house directly next to a festival site and then complain when it happens. Stupid. So, I mean, To be honest, I'd be quite happy living in Donington. I like Donington. I think it's lovely, actually. There's some nice pubs there and all of that.
It's a nice little village, isn't it?
Yeah.
I agree with you. It is a nice little village.
And if you want to go abroad, you've got the airport. If you want to travel the country, you've got a train station. It's a nice place. The people are nice and all of that. So, if that's your, let's hope they're downloaders that are moving in.
You know what? I'd imagine they probably all are.
If you are, tell us and talk to us.
They're either motorsport fans or download fans.
Yeah, either's good with me. So things have moved around a bit, haven't they?
Yeah. So with obviously everything we've just mentioned as well, there's actually a hotel going up. So you know where we used to, from the car park, cross over the bridge. And you got that patch of grass leading to the entranceway.
Oh, the Sacred Bridge across the road.
Yep, and then you that grassy patch there. Then obviously you walk up to go grab your tickets. Where you would go into the village and Blue Camp. On that corner, they're building a hotel.
Are they?
Yep. So there's that they've had to compete with. So everything's had to move. The location has now. So the location of the village specifically has moved from that field, obviously, where we can, if you're a veteran of the festival, you'll know where Blue Camp is, the old White Camp, that's all now car parking, and the village is now moved to what is known as the Tarmac Lake, which used to be used as car parking for the festival. So you can imagine how big it is going to be.
It is huge. I remember one year staying in the RIP section and having to walk through the Tarmac Lake to get to the bus, which would take me to your camp, the regular camping. And it took me absolutely ages to walk that. And plus, it's where a lot of times we've had to walk up there to actually get into the festival. The Tarmac Lake is where sort of holding area, isn't it? Or wasn't it? That's
yeah. So 2019, that was the queuing area. To get your wristbands to get in. So that massive Tarmac Lake, as it was, will be the village, which I think is going to be amazing because it's all hard standing.
Yeah.
So you're not going to sink into the mud. You're not going to get your welly stuck. You're not going to get dirty. It's going to be brilliant.
I think it's really important, actually, because you do need a part of the festival that isn't susceptible to mud. You need a recovery area that, when it does piss down, and let's be honest, it's going to piss down, you need a place that you can recover. And I just think it's so important. I mean, it's, when you're 20, maybe you don't give a toss, but as you are, because it's not a young festival. There's a lot of older people that are there too, and a lot of people who are with mobility issues as well. You need that single area that you can just get to it and not have to worry about getting stuck in mud.
Precisely, and I think they've made an absolute cracking decision to move it there. Why they've not done it earlier, I don't think even they know why they've not done it earlier. But it makes total sense to me.
And it's also nice for the traders not to have their stalls and merchandise and whatever they sell caked in mud, because it's not nice, because when it's absolutely throwing it down, you don't want to walk around the shops.
Well, the biggest hindrance to us, I felt, in 2019 was the fact that we didn't stray very far from our campsite. I didn't personally, because I passed out halfway through Thursday and didn't wake up to the next day. But I don't feel as if we made as much use of the village because of the crap weather.
It was on a little corner at the bottom of a hill, which was I think for the vast majority, like 90% of the time in 2019, it was just a mud bath, and I didn't want to walk through that.
No, I didn't. I totally agree with you, and it just, I think that was the biggest, almost the biggest letdown of 2019 was the fact that we didn't spend much time actually in the village, purely because it would have been an absolute ball ache to just walk from one end of the village to the other, let alone getting from where we were camped, which was quite close to quite close to the
we weren't that far away, were we?
No.
And even so, we didn't want to go through that. I mean, I think we may have done it a couple of times, but that's a very small amount of times we would normally go through the village, because normally you're up and down there all the time, aren't you? Because it's the village and it's where you spend a lot of your time, but we just didn't want to go there.
No. So, again, this massive tarmac lake that's about 350 metres by 100 metres wide, it's going to be so much better. You're not going to sink into it. And if you do, questions need to be asked. But
and it's
right, concrete.
It's slap bang in the middle of all the campsites, and you can walk there in less than 20 minutes from wherever you're camped, which is great, because in the past, it's, those campsites were very spread out.
Yeah. That's my biggest take from it as well, is that, again, it's central to all the campsites and it's not far away at all. Again, like you said, the furthest point from one end of the campsite to the village is only about a 20-minute walk. So, and that's not too bad when you really think about exactly what you've had to go through in the past. Yeah. I mean, the location is absolutely fantastic.
So what else is new?
So the biggest thing that's new that came to my mind was the new merch store they announced. So on one side of the lake, that's what you could call it, is going to be a massive mega store, merch store. So you'll be able to, like you would in any normal shop, you'd be able to walk in, try your gear on, buy it, not buy it, whatever. But it's going to have tons of stuff in it. Again, like a massive superstore.
I'm looking forward to this, actually.
I am, because, again, I mean, who doesn't love a bit of merch?
Oh, we all love a bit of merch. Oh, yes.
Oh, exactly.
And there's going to be more staff as well. So, the massive 30-person long queue that's in front of you, that hopefully will be shorter because they have more people working.
Well, hopefully, again, it'll be sort of like almost an IKEA type thing where you walk in and you just walk around. And obviously, you get to obviously the tills, and then you leave. Like, you just it's not.
That's an interesting way of doing a merch store. I've never heard of that before.
You've been to IKEA, haven't you?
Many times.
I hate IKEA. Fucking hate the place. Oh, bane of my life.
So you don't want this new merch store to be like it, then, do you?
As long as it's not. Oh, it's like a crash. For fuck's sake, it's so the one in Reading is like a crash. People bring their families for a day out at IKEA. I don't fucking get it. Okay. So fingers crossed, no, the new merch store will not be like that.
Oh my God, no, I couldn't cope with that. No, so a sensible merch store where you actually go in, you're not queuing up outside it, you can actually go in and walk around like a shop.
Like a proper shop.
That will be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, do you know, I'm always interested to know what the merch will be. And you don't really get to see much of it before you actually get there, do you? Which is a bit of a shame.
The only thing that we're predicting is going to be fucking baby blue, which I'm excited by. Don't get me wrong. My use of swearing there isn't in a negative way at all. It's going to be baby blue, and I think it's going to be brilliant. But you're right. Like, we don't really get a chance to be able to have a proper look until the day you turn up.
I mean, in RIP, you pay for your ticket and you get things with it, including lots of merch, and that does include one T-shirt. Usually it's a T-shirt. I think there have been hoodies in the past. I haven't had a hoodie. I've had the T-shirts before, but usually you get a nice T-shirt that says RIP on it. So I would imagine they're doing something nice for that as well. We will be talking about RIP a little bit more because that's the experience we're going for in 2022.
Oh yes, and I'm very excited because this will be my first time.
Yeah. So the transport hub, we did cover transport in a couple of episodes previous to this one, but the transport hub has moved. We have concrete information.
Yeah. So how to describe where it's moved to? That's what I'm going to struggle with, because so if we base it on the new festival site, you are literally a 7-second walk from the village or the nearest campsite from the transport hub. You meaning you get in the queue, you get your ticket, and literally you're straight into the festival. It is that close.
Did you just say 7 seconds?
I'm pretty sure that's what they boast.
That's very specific.
No, I take it back. Completely ignore me. I'm talking bollocks. 60 seconds.
That's a bit more. Okay, I can cope with it being 60 seconds. Right. Okay.
Right, I found the quote. So let me just stop bullshitting and stop getting everybody else's hopes up.
Yeah.
It will now be 60-second walk to the village and a 2-minute walk to the nearest camp.
See, that's great, isn't it? Because especially if you've travelled hundreds of millions of miles on public transport to get to, even if you've just come off got out of a taxi, that walk with all of your shite, all of your camping gear, all your food for the weekend, all your clothes, and all your kitchen sink, you don't want to have to take an hour to get to your camping site. To get there within a very, very short time with all your stuff, not puffed out. That's valuable. That is.
Well, I think again, I think the biggest thing was the fact that the YouTube video actually stated that they had been in contact with somebody who does get either the shuttle bus or a taxi or whatever into the transport hub, that if you've got a car, sweet, you park up and you can take 2 or 3 trips to the car to make sure that you can do everything like we do when we do general camping. But yeah, if you've got to come off a bus, out of a taxi or out of somebody's car that's dropped you off, you've only got one journey. Yeah. If you've got a fair bit of stuff, it's going to be a pain in the arse. Mm-hmm. So I mean, yeah, to put it that close to the actual village and to the actual camp is a very good move. You're gonna make a lot of people's lives a lot better as soon as they turn up. Yeah,
there was a YouTube video with a lot of this information in it from was it 2020? Might have been in 2020 actually.
It was filmed in February 2020, and then on March the 2nd, I believe, they announced obviously the cancellation. So I mean, even they thought at that time that like the pandemic it's not going to hinder a festival. Surely not. They're going to have it cleared up. But fuck me, weren't we all wrong?
Anyway, so if you want to find that YouTube video, it is available somewhere. So if you're going to download in a car, there are new car park locations. Now, does this mean that the beautiful bridge that we're all used to seeing and crossing is no more?
I believe it's going to be only there for day ticket holders.
Oh, right. So it'll be there, but we won't get to use it if we're camping.
Yeah, so unfortunately, us 5-night or 3-night campers will be using either the West Car Park, which is, I believe we used it as a car park in 2019, if those of you remember 2019's festival. And also, if you remember Blue Camp, the party camp, that's now a car park.
Have you dubbed it the party camp?
No, that's how Blue Camp has always been generally seen as. It's always been seen as the party camp.
That's true. I've never heard it called that before, though.
Because it's the biggest. So before 2022, it was always the biggest campsite. So it's always been seen as the party camp.
Yeah.
But now, because obviously the whole site has moved, Blue Camp's now a car park. One of the main car parks is where we parked in 2019, in that big hilly field, which my car stalled on, and fucking I shit myself.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Oh, my car's that car was a piece of shit. It stalled it halfway up the hill, and I couldn't get to start again.
Oh God! Is this the one that you got for free?
The one I got for free. Okay. I got both of my cars for free. I don't pay a penny for either of my cars.
Okay, so if you are coming to download for just the day, you'll park in the South Car Park, which you will cross the bridge from. And you can walk from the South Car Park to the arena in 10 minutes, which is incredible. I mean, if it ends up being 10 minutes, I'll eat my shoes, bearing in mind the thousands of people who will be there in front of you.
Yeah, that is a bit of a prediction, really, and that's a big old headline of like, it will take you 10 minutes. Will it really take 10 minutes? How quick are these people going to get in? They're going to get their wristbands. They've got to then obviously, because I mean, I think the queue that we were in for the pilot was usually the queue to get in for the day tickets.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that wasn't 10 minutes.
No, it wasn't.
And obviously the queue had been open for fucking hours by that point when we arrived.
Perhaps the people who decided this have got really long legs, or they walk really fast.
Yeah, maybe they've taken like 20-foot steps. So you've got the old staples that are returning. With staples, I mean the stuff that's always there, which we all love. You've got the doghouse.
Oh, yes.
Which will be mind the dog during the day, which is obviously your yoga for those that like to do a bit. I did it once, and my body felt awful afterwards. That also houses obviously the bawdy takeover.
Oh yes.
On the Thursday evening. Air of the Dog, which is the pub that's always there. They always do a decent selection of beers, even their own beer as well, and obviously the Iron Maiden Trooper, which is that should definitely be there, obviously with Iron Maiden playing.
There's the side splitter as well, the comedy tent.
Which is strange because the side splitter I always thought was in the doghouse.
No! It's always been, as far as I recall, it's always been its own little tent. I don't know. I could be wrong, but I always thought it was separate.
Fair enough. So yeah, side splitter of all the comedy acts will be there. The Wall of Death. I've never actually been in the Wall of Death yet.
I haven't, and we should go, shouldn't we?
I think we should. Yeah, I think this year we should definitely do it and go and see it. The co-op is coming back.
Oh, good. Thank God.
That's fucking brilliant. That co-op.
Yeah.
Especially seeing as it's not got festival tax on it. It's like the actual co-op prices.
Yeah, thank God. Yes, I'm really grateful that they turn up actually, because it's a lifesaver sometimes.
Yeah. On the other side of the lake will be all the usual food stalls and market stalls, including Fat Frank's. So if you do forget anything, go to them. Can't recommend them more. They are doing a click and collect service as well. So if you want to pre-order stuff to pick up at the festival, do it. And that they are a lifesaver. I think I've had blankets and duvets and all sorts from them.
Did you buy a tent from them at the pilot?
I did. Yeah, they saved my bacon big time for the pilot.
They did save your bacon, yes.
So yeah, can't recommend Fat Frank's anymore. In the village as well, you're going to have the Refresh Retreat.
Refresh Retreat.
Which we always have fun saying on this podcast because it's a bit of a tongue twister.
What is that?
The Refresh Retreat, basically, that is your lockers, your showers, and your posh toilets. You can buy a gold package, which includes all three, silver package, which includes your lockers and your showers, or just your lockers.
But you don't have to have that in order to have a shower. You can have a free shower.
There are free showers. There's going to be two locations for the free showers. In what they've dubbed Camp B and Camp F. Camp B is, if you go onto the website and see their new layout changes, you will see the blueprint camp, that's Camp B. It's just going to be on just off the side of that, and then Camp F, which used to be Gold Camp, which is by the side of the track.
And just to warn you, those free showers are communal. There's no privacy at all.
No, they're like cattle grids. So if you go in for your shower, just be aware that it's not private. You will see the bits and pieces of other downloaders,
and they will be able to see yours.
And they'll be able to see yours too.
So there's going to be a food court in the largest campsite.
Yes. So what has traditionally been Yellow Camp in the past is now becoming the biggest campsite at Download, and they will have their own food court in there. So if you are in the camps that are east of the village and you can't be asked trouncing all the way into the village, there will be a food court there where you will be able to obviously purchase your food, have a sit down and eat.
That's nice. The cinema is moving as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so if you've ever looked at a bird's eye view map of the of Donington Racetrack, so just off the right hand side of the village, it's what's known as the Kidney Wood. And what the plan is with the Kidney Wood is to literally just put a top over with no sides, loads of lights, and then make it sort of very atmospheric. So obviously for the cinema, and you're obviously watching your rock related films.
Oh, I wonder what's going to be on this year. We don't get, like I say, we don't get to find things out before they actually happen. We actually
They used to. I'm sure they used to actually like give you like a lineup, obviously what films they were going to play. But yeah, the last couple of years it's been a bit. You got to wait. You got to get there to see.
Yeah. There are new campsite locations, and we are all interested in the location of the campsites. Now, they are closer to the village and the car parks to make it easier for you to get around the site. So if you are going to and from the car back to the campsite, it will be easier, because if you've ever done it before, you've had to walk around the bleeding circuit carrying heavy stuff, and it's not a flat circuit. It's quite undulating and steep in parts and quite rocky. So let's hope that it is easier to get around the site from the village and car parks, because I don't know. Did anybody really enjoy that journey between the car parks and the campsites? I don't know if anybody did.
If they did, they are psychopaths.
Yeah, even if you're really fit and muscly, I think you might have struggled. I mean, that's from my perspective as a fat 39-year-old. But when you're driving into the car parks, don't follow your sat-nav, it says here. They will have signs on the road for where exactly you need to be. So accessibility improvements. Now, this is very important, obviously, for people who have any kind of disability and need a bit of assistance. If you are a disabled access customer, they want to improve things for you. So they've kept the campsite in a hard standing location, which is interesting, because how are you going to set up a tent in a hard standing location? You can't plug tent pegs into concrete, can you? So I'd be interested to know exactly what they've done.
I imagine, where I'm thinking it is, it's just off the track, actually. So the hard standing is obviously easier for them to get to and from the village, but they will be near grassed areas where they can pitch tents, or again, some of them will be taking camper vans and stuff like that. Neither of us are in that situation to be able to experience that. No. So unfortunately, we wouldn't be able to give any advice.
No, but if you are someone who uses the disabled access, please get in touch with us and tell us your experience, because we would love to know about it and to share that experience. So the new location of the village means that you can reach it on hard standing ground all the way, whether you're heading from the campsite or the arena, which I know is important. So that is some nice significant improvements for you. And there is a bigger dogtooth stage.
Now, this is really exciting because, so in 2019, the tent packed out for 12-Foot Ninja and Ginger. That almost rhymes.
It did.
And there was a lot of kickback from it. There's a lot of complaints. Obviously, we know downloaders like to complain about things, but I think this is a valid complaint.
Yes.
So, Dave Kingdon, who has been on the previous podcast before, we had got in a really good position for 12-Foot Ninja in the center of the tent. It was amazing. When the set finished, we wanted to go to the loo, or Dave did, at least. And then when we would try to get back to the tent, there was about 15 people deep on the outside of the tent just to see Ginger. And a lot of people did make the complaint saying you need to make that bigger, or you need to be a bit more savvy when it comes to putting those types of bands on that small stage. Yeah. So they have made that tent bigger. I believe, have you got the capacity number in front of you there, Neil?
Yeah, it's been increased from 2,890 which is very specific, to 4,050, which is it's over 1,000 more people that they can get in there. So that's nice. I always the thing about the Dogtooth tent is it does tend to get busier when the weather is bad.
That's great cover, that's why.
Yeah. So that's the thing is that when it rains, even though people might not be in there to see the band specifically, people rush there because it's undercover, and that's the same with all of the canopies. So make it bigger, yeah, exactly, because it's not always sunny weather. It's nice to be optimistic, but it's Download after all. So that's great news.
It is, and I'm really looking forward to it. Obviously, with all the acts that we've mentioned today, at least in that tent, it's going to be an amazing thing to actually have that tent being much bigger.
Now, if you're a fussy eater, you'll be pleased with the offers.
You can't say fussy eaters, especially with me on the other end of the microphone.
No, that's exactly why I've said it. More vegan and vegetarian food is on offer. They're increasing that by 40%, which is huge, isn't it? They're giving you over 30 vegan vendors to choose from on site, which is incredible. Vegetarian, over 40 vendors in addition to the vegan vendors. Which is, it's mad. You will be eating you'll have so much to choose from, won't you?
I'm probably going to gain about 20 stone just from fucking Download. It's not, and that's not just the standard beer consumption. It's going to be all that food. I'm really looking forward to. So I got information from a friend of a sushi place that's fully vegan.
No way.
I can't wait. I fucking love sushi.
I do as well. Funny you say that. I nearly ordered some today to be delivered. I love sushi, but it's quite expensive. That's the only thing.
Yeah, you got to have a career or a job that you're just rolling in money, don't you, Neil?
So
you do.
Yeah, whatever. So if you go for sushi at Download, can you imagine how much money you'll have to spend to get some? It'll be £40.
Oh, I don't mind. That'll do. That's fine.
So then we have some faster refill points. So because it can be sunny at Download, I don't know whether you've ever been to a sunny Download, but when it is sunny, it tends to be very sunny and very, very hot. So they have rejigged the refill points so that when you've got a bottle, an empty bottle, that absolutely didn't have vodka in it when you walked in. All of the water refill points have been redesigned with a high flow, meaning that you can 1 litre bottle can be refilled in 3 seconds. Now, I can see some water fights going on in the campsites, probably, with a high pressure water point.
Yeah, so when it says it's gonna fill a litre bottle up in 3 seconds, all I hear is high pressured water flow, which you're either gonna put it under the tap and it's gonna just fucking gush out everywhere, or water fights.
You'll have to have a
everywhere.
big opening.
You have to have a big opening to be able to catch the gushing flow.
Yes.
Of water.
Yes, and all the water bottles which they are going to sell at the bars and trader stands are going to be made from renewable plant-based bottles that can also be refilled, which is interesting. Plant-based bottles. I've never heard of that.
There's amazing things within like vegan community and plant-based stuff that they're doing these days, and it is plausible. It will come from something that you'd never imagine that you could use, but they'll make it into something that's a bit more sustainable than single-use plastic.
I think that's a really good idea because it does get, very plasticky at Download. There's a lot of that gets thrown away and trodden on and it's not very nice. So that's nice that they've done a plant-based version. There is going to be more recycling as well.
Fingers crossed they do actually have more bins generally, but hopefully more recycling bins generally. So you're not walking through tons of crap. Which, if you've seen other festivals, the amount of shit that gets left in their arenas just purely from people just being lazy and dropping it on the floor.
Of course, the download, what are they called? Those sort of beaker things that you get a pint in. Yeah, you're going to be encouraged to reuse those. And they have nice designs on, don't they? So as well as reusing them for your pint, you can take them home as a little memento. And at the Co-op, they're doing the reverse vending machines where you can recycle stuff as well. There's going to be low carbon travel. If you travel by car, you can fill up your empty seats with Lift Share, who are back this year. So that's the way they're doing low carbon travel, by getting less cars on the road to download, by helping people who don't have a car to get there. Or whatever. I've probably said that in the wrong way, haven't I? But car sharing is basically what that is. And then you've got wristbands for all. So if you come to download just for a day, you will now get a wristband. So just like the rest of the downloaders who are camping, you'll get a wristband too if you're just going for the day. And it's because I don't know about you, I keep my wristbands. I don't wear them for extended periods because they can get disgusting, can't they? So I remove it, and if I can remove it without cutting it, I'll do that. But I struggle sometimes with them, so if I have to cut it, I will. But I actually
have. Sorry to interrupt you there. I actually have a foolproof method to be able to get your wristband off without cutting it.
Really? Okay.
Now, if I remember this properly, you are supposed to. So you put your hand inside, say, a sandwich bag, and then you tuck the top of the sandwich bag underneath the wristband. You wrap it round, and then you try and pull the bag off bringing the wristband off with it, and it does come off absolutely fine, and it doesn't hurt that much. I
tried that last year after the pilot, and I don't know if I did it wrong or whatever, but it didn't happen for me, so I had to cut.
Oh, it happened. It happened for me. That's why I said I thought it was foolproof. But clearly, you fucked it, so it's not foolproof.
So hopefully you can begin. If you live locally and you are keen to get a wristband because you only go on days, then there you go. Can you imagine living locally and going to download? It must be amazing. Warm bed every night, shower. Proper food.
You might as well just move there now then. What's stopping you?
Oh, you know, it's a good question. It's a good question. What's stopping me? I could get one of those new houses.
There you go.
So that is our guide of the changes that are upcoming to the Donington site for download. And if you have anything that you'd like to contribute, or if you'd like to tell us about your experience, tell us about your do's and don'ts, anything we've missed, just give us your opinion. Just send us a message through the socials. Just search for Festpod, or send us a message through our website, which is festpod.co.uk. Next up, we'll find out what's coming out of your mouths on social media. In this section, we've got some of your replies to our question online on our socials when we asked, who do you want to fill the gaps in the Download 2022 lineup? We had 1 or 2 replies.
We did. Some I thought were maybe a little bit unrealistic.
What? Oh, really?
Most of those big gaps have been filled. However,
yeah. Well, I mean, it's who you want, isn't it? Not necessarily.
I suppose, yeah. We weren't really specific with the question. So
who do you realistically want to fill the gaps?
That would have been the better question to ask, but we didn't. We only asked, who do you want?
Yeah.
So, yeah, in fairness, I won't be so bloody picky.
Okay.
Right. So Dan Browning got hold of us on Twitter, and he said he would like to see Suicidal Tendencies, which is a great shout because they are a very, very popular band. Body Count. Oh, right. Ice-T and Body Count. I've seen them a couple of times before at Download. Always a great show. Wow. And Eskimo Callboy. A fairly new German band who were rejected for Eurovision, I'll have you know, which is kind of upsetting because they would have been amazing.
Rejected for Eurovision?
Yep, the German panelists did not want them to represent them in Eurovision, which was shocking because they are a very fun band. So having them on the download lineup would be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Over on Facebook, Dennis Sharks, which is an interesting name, Mr. Sharks, says Saxon would be fine.
I can imagine that. Yeah, Saxon, again, almost like... they would have been great to sub Megadeth on the second stage. That would have been a brilliant addition. Not my sort of metal, but it's right up the alley of a lot of downloaders. So
it's up their alley.
It's right up their alley. So that would have been a great addition. Good shout. We've also got VT Vincent on Instagram has suggested Sabaton.
Oh, I would have thought they were playing anyway, but they're not, are they?
No, they've got a tour that they need to rearrange the dates for coming up this year. So that's probably why they're not at download. But again, massive Swedish power metal band. That would have been an incredible booking. I believe they played in 2018 and got a very big crowd on the main stage.
I just then, as you were talking, I just got a wave of a feeling that it's been so long since I've seen any of these bands. I mean, I know that you and me went to the pilot last year, but some of these bands that we're talking about now, we have not seen them for literal years. And
I know.
It's
weird. It's weird to think about. Like the last two is almost like the last 2 years. Obviously, apart from the pilot, they just didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like 2020 and 2021 was a complete write-off. So it is. I still find it strange to say the last download was 3 years ago.
It's incredible, isn't it? And you've started to get the feels now, haven't you, for this year's download?
Oh, big time! I think for the announcement that came yesterday, obviously. Oh wow, yeah! Just going back onto my old spreadsheet, doing the research. I'm well in the mood for download. And it's just over 100 days away, just under 15 weeks away. So it's creeping up.
Yeah, as we record this, 104 days, which is
50 minutes.
Yeah. Oh my God. Oh, it's going to be incredible. Can you imagine how it's going to feel when you walk on that grass for the first time this year?
Yeah, because I mean, there's going to be a lot of people who didn't get to go to the pilot because obviously there's only 10,000 capacity, and they're going to this might even be the first time that some people get to see each other for 3 years. I mean, yeah, I think this is going to be the first time I've seen Dave in 3 years.
Oh my God, yeah, wow. Oscar Brewster, who we've heard from before, he's a fan. Billy Idol.
They played 2019, did they not?
Oh, I don't know. Billy Idol, I'm not sure about that.
2019, 2018 maybe, but yeah, still that's a good shout. That'd be a very popular band with some of the veterans of.
He's made a list actually. There's quite a few here. The Offspring, which I would agree with. I would definitely go and watch them.
Yeah, big time.
Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes, who we've mentioned before. Love them. Love them.
Mm-hmm.
50 Cent and Limp Bizkit.
50 Cent's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I believe he's doing Park Life this year, actually. And he's got his own headline tour. But it's that sort of rap and hip-hop from when you and I were teenagers that would really go down well with the download fan base.
I do reckon he'd get a crowd for it, definitely.
I do. And I think the whole bottling the band off stage thing at downloads, obviously, that's run dry. I've never seen a band get bottled off a download, but I know it used to happen.
A download?
My Chemical Romance were bottled off when they were headlining.
You're kidding.
I know. A band like My Chemical Romance, who would be a massive addition to any lineup now these days, was bottled by a download fan base.
Bottled? As in they had bottles thrown at them by the crowd. They weren't...
Yeah, not bottled as in they'd taken a glass bottle around the back of the head. No, we're not.
No, because that's a different thing.
That is different.
So, good call, Oscar. Good call. There's some really... Do you know, I love some of our followers' names. Zaxter Murph has said Faith No More.
Again, brilliant shout. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, again, they were huge in the 90s. Again, would be a very popular addition.
Oh, definitely.
This one from Instagram really, really, really made me giggle, actually. Michael Upton 64 said that he will do it. He will fill the gaps. He is a musician-songwriter from Liverpool.
Oh, right. So he's not just some bloke with the.
Well, he's not just a random bloke that's got no musical ear whatsoever. He is in fact a musician-songwriter from Liverpool.
Great.
So if he is listening to this, you've really made me laugh when you wrote that, and you never know. One day you might well be there.
Well, you never know. I mean, just look at the this battle of the bands that's going on with the deal.
Oh, exactly. Again, yeah, it's things like that anybody one day could do it.
You never know. Rory Horgan is asking for System of a Down.
A lot of people have been asking for System of a Down since they were announced back in 2019.
How many times have they headlined? Is it more than once?
I'm not sure. I think a lot of people weren't quite keen on them coming back in 2020 was because they had already played in 2017 and it wasn't a great show. I mean, that's my opinion. I felt I think the lead singer had a bit of a throat issue, whether he was under the weather or not, and the guitarist seemed very lackluster and lethargic and didn't really look like he wanted to be there.
Oh, really?
Again, this is just my opinion, and I was quite disappointed by them.
Right.
So, but I mean, obviously, a lot of people do love System of a Down. They were massive when we were teenagers. They haven't put an album out since 2005, FYI. But
haven't
at the same time, no, since 2005 they haven't put an album out.
Wow, that's mind blowing.
they put out a couple of tracks during the pandemic, but no album has been fully recorded since 2005.
Wow. Adam Beck would like Virgin Witch. Do you know Virgin Witch?
I don't know Virgin Witch, but I believe he's left us a link for me to be able to find out. So thank you for that, and I will definitely have a nose.
Mark White
got the
go on. Sorry.
Sorry, I got the Dear Download podcast got in touch with us, and they have recommended a band called Raunchy, which sounds raunchy.
It does, doesn't
apparently, they are, quite on the nose with the raunch, I believe.
Yes.
They are a Danish melodic metal band, which does sound rather interesting.
It does.
I am very intrigued. So, thank you for that suggestion, because it's something else. It's a band that I can sink my teeth into.
Yeah. That's. Let me know if you actually do that, because they sound all right. And Mark White. Well, it says Mark White Riot Lefort. What is it about metal and metal fans that gives them such interesting names? NOFX or NoFX?
NoFX. NoFX. Massive punk band, actually, and I mean like proper punk. Again, to be honest, they're one band on a list of a long list of bands that I'd actually like to see. Again, they were quite big during the early 2000s and the 90s, along with the likes of The Offspring, Green Day, that sort of punk. That's a great suggestion. I can't remember. I think they have played since we started going, or they might have played in 2016, I think. But yeah, I mean, that'd be a great addition. Kfinity91 has recommended Turnstiles, who I believe are playing 2000 Trees, as are the Mazingas and Against Me. I think this person should go to 2000 Trees, because I believe those three bands alone are actually playing there. So if they're listening, go get a 2000 Trees ticket. They also recommended Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes.
Yes.
Which we've always said, yes, please, please, please. But unfortunately, because of the way the poster is now, And with Skindred in that final logo slot, I don't think it's going to happen this year.
Oh, really?
Where would you put them? They headlined the pilot, and they were due to be in that third down spot on the main stage for 2020 and 2021. I mean, you couldn't put them anywhere on the 2022 lineup. They're just too good.
So we have had a message in from Andy Tuna Groves. I don't know if that's if tuna is his middle name or if he just likes fish. Who knows? But see, he does have a question. It's a general question for each of us in 3 parts. What's our favourite download performance out of every one that we've seen? That's quite a question. I don't know who do you know, there's so many. I don't know who I would pick. The one that probably stands out the most, the Lounge Kittens.
Okay.
Now, I don't know if you've seen... Did you see them back in the day?
No, I only saw them through the videos that you put up on on the vlog that you do every year. To be honest, listening to them prior, I thought, they could be really fun. They could be really interesting. And from the videos that you posted, they were.
They're not. Do you know what? I'm not going to say that they were my favourite necessarily, but they really stick in my memory as being something different. Because if you're not aware of the Lounge Kittens, it's I think it's 3 ladies who are singing lounge versions of metal tracks, and everybody sings along. Everybody knows the words. It's not just metal tracks, actually, that they do. They do all sorts. And it is so much fun to go and watch them. And they were packed out. I can't remember which stage I saw them on, actually. It might have been...
They were on the Dogtooth stage.
I was going to say. So if you ever get a chance... I've not seen them perform again at Download since then, to be honest. So if you do get a chance to go and see them, it's a good laugh. It certainly gets you in the mood. How about you?
I'm struggling to think, to be honest. That's either because my memory's terrible or the fact that I have seen so many.
It's really hard to think, isn't it? Especially because when we saw them, we were probably a few pints deep.
Inebriated, yes. This is difficult. I'm gonna, the one that sticks out in my mind, I'm gonna have to say Devin Townsend, who Devin Townsend project that did the guest slot on, I think it's 2017 on the second stage, and I was captivated from the first minute because he's such a lovely bloke as well. He's so friendly and so kind and so funny when he's on the stage, and the music is just insanely good. I think I'd have to say Devin Townsend project.
Wow.
And I was so happy to see him again at Bloodstock last year because again he was charming, he was funny, and it was a brilliant show. Devin Townsend project from 2017.
What's the next part of his question is, what's your number one band you're dying to see at Download that you haven't managed to see yet? Do you have
for
one?
This year, or was there not specific?
It doesn't say.
Right, so for this year, Spirit Box.
Oh yeah, do you know,
100%.
I want to see them. I do want to see them. They intrigue me.
100% Spirit Box. I really enjoy their music. There's so much hype around them at the minute. It's going to be an insane show. Yeah, I can't wait. Spirit Box would definitely be up there. I know obviously you don't ask for one, but secondly would be, as I mentioned earlier, As Everything Unfolds.
Oh yes.
My homies from my hometown, like I have to go and see them. It would be rude not to.
Well, they're on the Avalanche stage. If I hadn't already seen Sleep Token, it would be Sleep Token. But they're going to be on. Actually, they're on the Avalanche stage as well this year on the Friday.
Yeah, that Friday on the Avalanche stage could be pretty popular to you and I think.
I might spend some more time there this year, actually. Mm-hmm. But do you know what? I want to see The Darkness, and I know that people have got things to say about The Darkness, but I I just think it's fun. I like the you know, it's there's something about The Darkness that I like. And I know it's not a serious band, like a serious band, you know, like Sleep Token is, for example. But I just like them, and I just want to see them. I just want to see them.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. Whilst they're not on my to see list because I saw them back in 2015, they are a really good live show.
Yeah, I bet.
They were the secret act actually that year.
Were they?
And they Justin Hawkins is fucking hilarious. They're a really, really good band. They're a lot of fun. So yeah, I do recommend that if you're umming and ahhing to see them, just go and see them. Poke your nose in. You will have a great time.
And he's, you know, I know it's thingy to say, but I just think he is really talented. He's a great guitar player. He's on TikTok. Yes, I'm on TikTok, and I do have an account. I don't post anything on it. I just watch other people, and he appears on my TikTok account and talks about music and other people doing music, and you know, there's the trends that are happening in music and the way people play and the notes that they choose. He's really, actually, really well informed and a proper musician. So, you know, despite I Believe in a Thing Called Love being a sort of pop, you know, tune, and it's, you know, it's not a serious tune, is it? It's just sort of light and airy and fun. He knows his stuff.
Yeah. I'm not on TikTok, and I have not been able to experience what you're saying, but talent wise, yeah, I do. I 100% agree with you.
And the third part of his question is, what's your favourite metal band?
I think you know who mine is.
Well, I was going to say Korn, actually, but now I'm wondering whether it's Invisions.
Well, see, that's two different sort of categories, really.
Yeah,
Korn is my all-time favourite because I've been listening to them and I've loved them ever since I was a kid. Yeah, I mean, in Visions though, they've only put out 3 albums, and I'd like to see them do more. They are doing everything correctly. They're very active on their socials, whether it be their individual social media accounts or it be the band social media account. They react and they respond to fans all the time. Their music is fantastic, and I would love to see them at Download. Again, obviously, the first time I saw them was the Bawdy Takeover, where they headlined in 2018 that year. But they do deserve to be on the lineup. I think I posted it on my private account that Envisions would make this lineup 100 times better. But again, that's me with the rose tinted glasses of, again, yeah, my modern day favourite band.
Yeah, I'm struggling with this one, to be honest. My favourite metal band, because it changes. It changes week to week because I'll discover people, and you know, I don't know really.
Is there one band that sticks out in your mind? It could be from obviously any generation where you just think, I could put that on and I could enjoy that for hours.
Well, I mean, AC/DC is the one that really got me, because I've listened to all the albums, you see. But it's a great. When I first got Spotify, I thought, right, I'm going to listen to all the albums, because I don't think I had at that point. And I just wanted to. There's some great live shows actually that they recorded, a lot of them at Download, or obviously Monsters of Rock. And that sort of gave me a good grounding in heavy metal. But now, I mean, you probably wouldn't call them a metal band, but they're Royal Blood. I'd call them a rock band or an alternative band. Are, you know, I think I've seen them more than anybody else live, and they have played Download before, but I think they've only played it once.
See, I do think it's fair to say that they are a heavy rock band with metal influences. So I would that would be obviously that would be the first band I would think of when you say to me your favorite band.
Yeah, but like I say, it changes.
Yeah, because I mean that's because like you and I we try to. I mean, especially I try to discover new bands and listen to things that are obviously a bit more current and not sticking to the same 7 bands. Which there's always that meme, isn't there? Where like you've got like new upcoming bands in one side of it, and then like the same 7 bands on the other, and like people are just like always on that. No, I've got my bands that I love and I will always listen to, but I'm always trying to, because of download. And because of new names on these lineups, that I try to get into these newer bands and these younger bands, just because it just keeps things more exciting than having the same stuff over and over.
Yeah, and this I'm just looking at the lineup, and there's so many bands that I want to see. I mean, they're not all my favourite, but I love a bit of Korn, Sleep Token. I mean, these are bands that I mention a lot, but I really like them. Boston Manor. Holding Absence. There's so many. I mean, I'm not going to start listing bands here, but there's a lot that I really like. But it is so difficult to pick a favourite.
It is irritating to hear all the complaints about this year's lineup. I know obviously people complain about it. People complain about download fucking every year, but I mean, if people were to just not focus on that top section on the main stage and go down the lineup and look at the bands that they don't know, they could discover their new favourite bands. But I suppose, I mean, we do like what we know. Change can be scary to some people, so that they stick to what they know and don't really necessarily want to try something different.
But at the end of the day, it is a festival, and there's more than just your favourites playing. So I'm more than happy to go around and listen to people. I mean, I listened to Cassiette at the Pilot in 2021, and I loved Cassiette. I now follow her on TikTok, and she does some great covers as well as her own original stuff. She's a really talented artist, so I really like.
She's on the second stage. I mean, that's huge. Like. Yeah. It's early in the day, and I don't think her Spotify's got many tunes on it, or any of her streaming sites have got many songs. I think it's about 6 or 7 songs. But I mean, I've just watched your video that you did, obviously of her when at the Pilot.
Yeah, so talented.
It was so energetic and so fun, and she's definitely one that I'm definitely keen to see as well.
Before I finish, I'm just going to mention Loathe as well. On the Avalanche stage on the Saturday, I shall be there watching them as well. Did
you hear the song they did with Sleep Token?
No, I haven't heard that.
Right, so they've got an original song called "Are You Ready?" They've done it. They've collaborated twice with 2 different bands, and one of them being Sleep Token. Not to spoil it too much, it's just pure piano. And Sleep Token vocals.
Oh my!
It's
gosh.
Beautiful. It was done so well, and Loathe themselves as just a band generally, they're fucking wicked.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'll be there watching them on the Avalanche stage as well. I think to be honest, I think the Avalanche stage, looking down at the lineup, probably we may be there for quite a lot over the weekend.
I'm thinking that, yeah. To be honest, a lot of bands that I know and have heard before are there. So I'm going to spend more time there. It's funny, over the years, I haven't actually spent that much time at the Avalanche stage, because usually it's stuff that I'm not that interested in. But this year, it does look very good. Andy, well done on those questions, because they were very difficult. I've really struggled to answer those. He says, keep up the good work and hopefully see us there in June. And P.S. get the rest of the 2018 vlog uploaded.
Yeah, Neil, get that vlog uploaded for fuck's sake. I've been waiting for that for nearly fucking 4 years. Sorry.
Yeah, you get clips sent to you, so you've nothing to worry about. You've seen it all already in parts. But yes, you're right. For everybody else who is interested, I shall work on that, as well as everything else that I've got to do. At some stage. Yes, you will get to see it. So that's it for this episode. We'll be back soon with more news about Download Festival and all of the other festivals that surround it. So until then, we'll see you on the socials. Just look for Festpod on the socials or go to festpod.co.uk. And why don't you give us a 5-star review wherever you found us? It does help you people find us. And if you've got to this point in the podcast, hopefully you've enjoyed it, so you want to give us a nice review. So that's it. We'll catch you next time. Bye. A Wilco Productions podcast.
I don't like things being really close to my face.